What's up, guys? What is going on with you on this lovely Tuesday? I am happy to be here, always. I don't care what it looks like in your world, where you're at, outside, whatever, we're here. And we're here together. And I want to thank you guys. I am so blessed to have you. I am just so appreciative. And I never want you to think otherwise, man. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am D-Love. You have D-Love on the mic with you today. I'm on here each and every Tuesday, man. Tune in. I'm on here dropping some knowledge, whatever comes up on my spirit, whatever God puts on my heart. We get on here and we do that thing. Welcome back to STROK'D, the art of mental stimulation, where I touch subjects at depths that most people aren't willing to go. I like to hit that hard stuff. And I like to do it raw, man. Transparent, honest, imperfect. Whatever comes up, comes out. You know, that's how we do it. Y'all know the game plan by now. Of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you're new and you're tuning in, all the analytic stuff, you know, I got to take care of that as well. And if you're not following STROK'D, the art of mental stimulation podcast on social media, make sure you go to @STROK'D, STROK'D _ the podcast, @STROK'D, STROK'D _ the podcast on all social media platforms. Man, follow me, get on there, get on some of that good content. You know, drop some DMs or whatever. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know a topic. Let me know if you want to hop on this mic with me. I don't care if you are somewhere far off. I have remote capabilities, and, you know, we can do this. You can get on here and stroke your brain. All right? So, yeah, I got a topic I want to touch on today, and I think it would really help everyone, man. So, yeah, tune in, get ready. You guys already know, man. You may have heard it all before, but not quite like this. You know what time it is. It's time to get stroked up. So, this topic actually came to me while I was taking a nap. And I have a lot of downloads when I'm asleep all the time. So, sometimes when I'm going to bed, I say a prayer to God and I ask him to deliver the message, or, you know, I ask him to, you know, show me the light of what you want me to talk about, who you want me to, you know, tailor the message to. And, you know, I do that. And that actually came to me when I was taking a nap. I didn't even ask for it. I was just taking a nap. And I was having a dream, I guess. I don't know. Do you call them dreams when you feel like you woke, but you sleep, but you woke? I don't know. But it was a dream. And the topic came to me, so I just want to say, I've come to a realization on my short stint on this earth that a lot of people have the hardest time with one of the most simple words. And that word is no. N-O. Very simple. 2 letters. Do you know how many times I've had to rescue someone from being in a situation when the quickest way to solve that situation was N-O? And I'm not talking about New Orleans. I'm talking about the word no. So I just said, you know, I want to dive into that 2-letter word and the art of setting boundaries. So I said, God must have put it on my heart for a reason. Someone needs to hear this. I know a lot of people need to hear this. And we have the hardest time with just saying no. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because most of us, maybe we're conditioned since we were kids that, you know, you're supposed to always be kind and you're supposed to always be nice. And, you know, we have to believe in the goodness of others all the time. And that stuff's great. That's all good. But I think our parents may have forgot to leave out the disclaimer. Not forgot to leave out, they left out the disclaimer to exist in the real world. All right, that some people are just messed up, and some people would just take advantage of that kindness. You know, they wasn't reared as we were. Some people might have been brought up in survival mode, manipulation, and I think back to a valuable lesson my grandfather taught me. You know, I was a kid. You know, grandfathers always dropping knowledge, saying something. You know, those old sayings and stuff they had. But one time, my grandfather told me, he said, "Never do anything for anyone that they wouldn't do for you." He said, never do anything for anyone that they wouldn't do for you. And, you know, and I held on to that. And not saying play that tit for tat game. You know, I'm just saying people who just wouldn't. Not that some people just can't. You know, they couldn't. But people who just wouldn't do it for you, you know, from being around them, blatantly, you know, from the things they talk about, how they handle other situations with other people, you know how they are. But yet when they come to you and they ask you to do something, you have this allegiance of loyalty and you still say yes. You still say yes. You have a problem with saying no. And I never understood that. You know, my father, he raised us a certain type of way. I never had a problem saying no. Matter of fact, I'm very blunt, very straight to the point. Whatever I feel I'm going to say. because, my boundaries are strong. They're strong. They may be a little bit too strong. Sometimes people can't come in or whatever, but life taught me to set those boundaries in that particular way. I learned lessons just like everyone else. I had situations when I said yes, when I really wanted to say no, and, things didn't work out well. So, I had to tailor my boundaries along the way, to fit certain situations. All right. But yeah, certain people, they just, I don't know if it's a fear of, I don't know. Certain people just, I don't want to say yes people or yes man or whatever, but they just really feel real bad. Like they're letting people down if they say no or whatever. But you got to think about what it makes you feel inside. How many times have you said yes to something, but you thought about it the whole time, how you really didn't want to do it, how you really didn't have time to do it, and you still made a way to do it because you felt like that maybe you're the only source that someone has, and without me, what would they do? And they always come to you, and you always say yes over and over and over again. Do you know how much power is in the word no? I think people just gave it a negative connotation where people think no is a bad thing. But it's not. It's a way to set clear-cut boundaries. Like me, I say no, but I don't say no all the time. For example, I had a lady. I was staying in these apartments. And, I'm inside. She knocked on the door. I don't know this lady. She knocking on the door. I open the door. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she like, hey, can you take me to the store? Da, 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 da. And she finished, and I just said no. And there was an awkward silence. And we were just sitting there. We were just looking. And then I just shut the door because, it was quiet. Like, what next? I just shut the door or whatever. And, I was explaining that to some people. And they were like, oh, you wrong for that. I'm like, what did I do? She asked the question. I answered the question. And, the moment was over or whatever. And then when I say no, I don't have to have an explanation behind it. And a lot of people feel like they have to have an explanation behind the word no. No stands as is. Well, they say superior at the end of no. It's it. You don't have to have an explanation behind it, especially if it's an indefinite no. Because what you do is you say no, and then you have that but at the end. They take it as for this time. Oh, they can't do it this time. They're not going to do it this time. But, another time they may be able to do it. So when I say no, it's solid, it's strong, it stands, and you know that it means no, and to never ask me again. Okay? So we got to try to find some ways for people to get out of this. People pleasers or whatever. I don't know, people get joy from saying yes or whatever, I guess. They overextend themselves. They're stressing themselves out. They're going through all this stuff because they simply just can't say no. And then they got the wrong people around them. People who are people pleasers that can't say no, number one, you have the wrong people around you because you only have the people around you who require you to say yes all the time. You know who they are. If you was to say no to them, you probably wouldn't talk to them again. They wouldn't be around you anymore. You know those users, those type of people. They're only around you for what you could do for them, what you provide. And the moment you say no or say anything otherwise, they don't want anything to do with you. So think about it. Do you really want those type of people around you anyway? Is that really the type of person that you want around you? So people are doing it for acceptance. You're blinded by the fog of love, whether it be in a romantic relationship, your family. I don't know. People have this loyalty to their family. People have this undying loyalty to their family. And, I'm like that too. I want to please my family. I want to be able to say yes every time. But if it's something I just don't want to do, I'm going to say it. If it makes my spirit feel uncomfortable or I'm not in the space to handle whatever you're asking me, the answer is no. The answer is no. And people actually have the audacity to expect things from you that they would never do for you or they would never give to you. They won't. That's all they want to do is soak up your energy, soak up your time, soak up your services, your skill set with nothing in return. Those are the people you want to avoid. That's it. And then as kids, we were conditioned. We used to get in trouble when we said no. You couldn't say no to your parents, your adults or whatever. So, we used to get in trouble. So maybe that followed us, as we got older, that we were so used to saying yes to everything because, that's how we were trained. And on the flip side, you guys who have kids now, I don't know if you were told no too much with your parents, but now you don't know how to say no to your kids. It's like, I want my kid to have a different life than me. I'm going to say yes to everything. You turned out okay, right? You turned out great. You're good. You're healthy, got healthy boundaries. But these kids that are not used to being told yes, What are they going to do out there in the real world when you're not around? What are you going to do when you, I think I said that wrong. They're not used to being told yes. They're not used to being told no because they always hear yes. When you're not around, they're off in the world in college, they're out in the world with jobs and they're getting rejection and all that. What are they going to do? Because you have literally told them yes every step of the way. I see people going broke to please these kids. I mean, I see people like pulling their hair out to please these kids. I mean, it has to be a line. It has to be a balance within everything. But you have to learn to set healthy boundaries. You have to know what your boundaries are. You have to know how far you're willing to go, what you're willing to do, and you have to stick with it. And anybody who leaves your life, when you put those boundaries down, they're not meant to be there anyway. So you just weeding out the flakes and taking out the trash. And that's it. That's all. So you shouldn't feel any type of way about it. But we have to practice saying no. We have to. I would say no to a person on the job. And you know, when you work, it's like you feel like if you say no to something, like you might lose your job, lose your employment or whatever. But do you really want to be in a situation where within your spirit you're feeling uncomfortable all the time because certain things are being asked of you? I'm not talking about like day-to-day work because, you know, we don't want to do that anyway. Excuse me. We're doing it for a paycheck or whatever. But sometimes they go the extra mile with asking you to do things that's just clearly out of the way, not under your description, got you doing some of their work. All of this stuff, just clearly, you know, it's situational. All right, I'm not just saying just go out and start yelling no, no, no to everybody. No, it's situational. But you know those times when after you say yes to something and you're probably sitting at your desk or sitting whatever, and in your mind, that thought of what just happened is going over and over and over, and it's not just sitting in your spirit. It's not sitting right with you of what was asked of you, whether that's at work or whatever. You know, we need to rely more on our spirit because it tells us everything. But I've been at work before. You know, when I was working in corporate America, and I had someone ask me to do a task. Someone asked me to do a task as far as, I think, training a new person or teaching a new person something. Like, I'm the type of person, you know, when I worked anywhere, I'm going to help because that's me. If I can help, I'm going to help, but I'm going to do it on my own terms. If my job title is not trainer or something like that, I don't have to do that. But me being me, if I can assist someone, that's me. That's my spirit. I'm going to assist someone. But when you come asking me as if it's a requirement, that's when things change. All right. So I had a job, and, you know, the manager come and he was like, hey, can you teach such and such how to do this? Mind you, I had already been teaching such and such everything because wherever I go, people gravitate towards me anyway because of my energy. And, you know, so I was like, hey, don't come over here asking me to teach anyone or train anyone. I've been hearing talk about y'all supposed to be firing me, you know, so don't have me over here doing this work. And that's what y'all talking about doing. And I said that. So somebody said, you actually said that to? Yes. Yes, I said it. You're not about to use me. You're not about to, you know, make me do this and building up this person you're trying to train up to take my place or something like that. No, that's not happening. Just straight up just told them, if you don't worry about me, I'm not worried about you. I told them. Yeah, they end up firing me like I said. They end up firing me like I thought or like I said or whatever. But, yeah, I knew that. I'm not about to do this extra work. Are you kidding me? Like, literally. You literally in my face about to ask me to do this for you, and that's what your plans are. I was like, man, get out of here. And that's me. I've always been outspoken like that. People have a fear that when you say no or you're able to speak up for yourself and you have boundaries that people won't like you. You know, some people need to be accepted. They want to have friends and they, you know, want to have these people around and all of that. But what I found is when you are able to set boundaries and you can say no and do all these type of things, more people gravitate towards you. They respect you more. They respect you more. You know, they know how to handle you. I provided structure around myself on how to handle me. You know what you can do. You know what you can't do. And if you happen to forget, I'm quick to remind you. You know, so, you know, we have to be like that, man. Take the negativity out of the word. No, it's not negative. People, number one, don't know how to communicate. They're afraid to communicate. Everything that's a simple conversation has to turn into an argument when someone doesn't agree with you. That is absurd. That's absurd, man. That we have to have an argument because I did not agree with you. Let's just agree to disagree and move on. All right, but you have to learn to speak up for yourself. Set these boundaries. You're going to end up in these situations. A lot of people end up in these narcissistic relationships because of that and all these bad situations because those type of people are going to gravitate towards you. Those type of people, the people that know they can do very little and receive a lot from you, those are the people that's going to gravitate towards you. Like, I don't have to put much effort out, and this person just automatically does this because you're a nice person. And I'm not saying change who you are, because I'm very nice. You know what I mean? If I can say yes, and if I can do it, I'm going to do it. You know, not to anybody, but the people that I would do those things for, who I can help, I would help anybody. But, you know, I have boundaries. If I could do it, I will do it. And I control who is around me because I'm like that. I don't change who I am. I don't change the fact that I'm nice. I don't change the fact that I like to help. And that's just in my spirit, that I am a helper, I'm a healer. I don't change that. I just change the circle of people that's around me. So if you're that person that you're thinking you're always too nice and people run over you and take advantage of you and walk over you like a rug and all that type of stuff, remove those people that do that. That's it. You can stay like that. You have to learn to develop boundaries, but you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to change your character. All right? Just change your circle. You might need to go back and listen to that atmosphere episode that we have in the past. I think that was an episode from last year sometime. That's it. You don't have to change who you are. Just change the circle of people you keep around you and realize your worth. Realize your worth and who you are. You know, I know we listen to God, and God says be kind to your neighbor and all that. Okay, let's do that. But when you got someone that's dark, doesn't have good intentions, doesn't have a great heart or whatever, in order to not to have to put that kindness into them while they're doing you like that, keep them away. Separate yourself, man. No. I don't care if you have to look in the mirror and practice saying no. Practice saying no without telling a little white lie afterwards. You know, people feel like they have to say no and tell a lie afterwards of why they can't do it. Man, I can't do it today. You know, I got to go take such and such somewhere. I can't do it today. I got to do this, this, and this. Man, that's a recipe for disaster. Because here come tomorrow. Okay? And also when I do things for certain people, you know, like my family, close people, if you're close to me, you know you're close to me. If you got great energy, even if I've just met you and your energy is great, I mean, you kind of know that. But, you know, certain people, you have to give them a discount. When you do say yes to them and tell them something, even if you have the ability to say no, you have to let them know. You know, if people say I'm blunt, I'll say, hey, I'll take you this time, you know, but don't ask me again. I'm not a taxi. See, that's me. If people say that's too blunt, yeah, I do it this time, but, you know, this is not something I do on the regular. So it's all about, you get to choose how you deliver the message. It's different ways to say it. Me, I don't like black and white areas. I'm kind of a gray area type of person. So it's like, bam. I mean, I don't like a gray area. I'm sorry. I'm just all flip-flop. I'm a black and white type of person. It's either this or it's either that. And that's it. And I stand by it. And you have to be okay with it, because think about this. Think about the uneasiness and the stress that you feel when you agree to do something or you take on something that you don't really want to do, and your answer is really yes. I mean, no. See, this yes, no, get me. Your answer is really no, and you said yes. Think about how you feel. The stress levels, the uneasiness, like you just don't feel good. All right? So think about being uncomfortable saying no. You tell somebody, that's what you must be afraid of, the uncomfortable, the awkwardness, that little space in between. Like, I don't mind the space. Silence is good. We need to learn that as well. That little space that you're afraid of feeling, and you're afraid of taking in whatever that person's going to feel and how they're going to think of you. What is the difference? What's the difference? If you say yes and you mean no, you feel a kind of way. And if you say no in that energy and you think that feels weird and you're afraid of that feeling, I mean, you still feel that. You still feel that weird feeling, man. So I'd rather feel the weird feeling and I'm good afterwards. Feel that weird feeling and I can still go about my business, and I didn't agree to do something that I didn't want to do. Now, what is the difference? Okay? And it's not your problem how a person processes your no. You know, we're scared of how someone may react or how they may take it or whatever. That's not your responsibility how they process that no. If they take it a certain type of way, they don't want to deal with you anymore. Like I said before, they wasn't supposed to be around you anyway. They wasn't supposed to be there. All right? So you just took out the trash. That's the way to find out who your real friends are, who your real tribe is. If it's just someone you're just meeting, to find out if they even need to be around you, period. That is a way. All right? So which awkwardness would you prefer? The awkwardness within yourself while you're doing something you don't want to do, or the awkwardness for saying no when you didn't want to do it and you get to go home off to yourself, and maybe you still feel awkward because of the feeling in that awkward space that they had, but still you're not doing it. You're not doing something you don't want to do. All right, so, you know, you pick your battle. All right, so if you're going to have that feeling anyway, pick your battle. And a lot of people like to call people who know how to set boundaries, they like to call us mean. I've been told that before. You mean? How am I mean for saying, no, I don't want to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. And maybe sometimes you don't have to ask again. They call being blunt like that mean. Maybe I could work on my delivery sometimes. But, I just like it to be point blank, period. I like people to know. I don't like confusion. So, let's nip that in the bud right now. So, that's my task for you guys who are having a problem with saying no. All right, try it out. Try it out and choose your awkward. Try it out and choose your awkward, man. All right, because it seems like it's something they need from you. Really, you have all the power. You have all of the power because they're coming to you for something. And the same person that you're giving all these rides to that always need these rides to work or whatever, let something happen to your vehicle. Let you need them like that. And I'm not speaking for everyone. Like I said, I'm not speaking for people who are in situations and, maybe they do need a little help or whatever. I'm talking about these people who are habitual with always needing you. And when it's their time to step up, they're never there. They can never produce. All right. And you also don't want to fall into the guilt trip. The guilt trip. When they've done something for you, so you feel like you're obligated to do something for them. That's why a lot of people don't like to interact with people too, because they feel like if they do something or they accept something from you or whatever, that they're going to have to return it. They're going to have to do something in return. Don't feel obligated out of guilt because everybody has their own choices. If someone did something for you, okay, they were capable and able and they wanted to do that for you at the time. Or they were suffering from the couldn't say no problem as well, but that's not your problem. If you can do it, do it. If you can't, you can't. Who cares about the outcome? You don't owe anyone anything at any time, man. We got to stop having expectations, stop having this tit for tat. And my mother taught me that when I was younger. She's the one that put the softer side in me. She's the reason I have this big, gigantic heart. She always said, man, never do anything for anyone and, ask for something in return. When you do something, you do it from the heart. And she taught my sister and I that lesson at a very young age. You do it from the heart. If I do it, it's because I want to. I may have people in my life who think they were finessing me because I was so nice and I was so kind and I was so giving. They probably thought that because, that's probably how I feel. Because most of the time when I care about you, if I can do it, I'm going to do it or whatever. That's just me. I have no reason not to. I'm going to do it. But they're always surprised when they have that moment when that no come out unexpectedly because I always say yes. All right. I always make the choice to do what I want to do. If I'm doing it, I want to do it. That's point blank, period. Simple. All right. So you have to almost put yourself inside your own little box. Define yourself and what you are willing to do, what you won't do. Because, there's certain stuff that you just would never do. It's nothing that you desire to do ever. And you know this. So you have to learn to set your boundaries accordingly. A lot of these situations and problems we are in or have faced have been because of that. We have been lackadaisical with our boundaries. Our boundaries were set for a reason. You set those boundaries for a reason, whether it was a life experience or whatever. Something happened in your life where you set those boundaries and you had certain people come about and you kind of loosened it a little bit. You loosened it and you let them in a little further, than you normally would because, I don't know, you liked them or something. Something about, I don't know, whatever the reason was, you kind of was lackadaisical with your boundaries. In the end, it turned out bad. And he was like, man, why did I do that? I should have never did that or whatever. There was a reason for that boundary. That was a reason that you had it there, and you have to be mindful of that. All right, it's almost a red flag anyway when you have a person coming in that's, pushing the issue and making you do that. Not saying don't be flexible. Don't be flexible, but there's some things that we just, it's no negotiation. This is just what it is with everybody, with me. With everybody, this is the way I am, and this is where I stand. So, hey, there's no alterations to this. This is just what it is. Okay, and I think we all have those things, but a lot of people come along for whatever reason. I always say love is a big one. When you love people, you really just turn blind for real, and you start doing stuff that you said you would never do, and stuff that you were uncomfortable with, but you make excuses for them. You make excuses as a way to let them in. Well, yeah, I could just do it this time. They ain't really asking for much, and I could just whatever. Then you find yourself in deep waters later on down the line because you have set this precedent of of what you're going to do. So I say, on the flip side, set the precedent from the beginning of how you want to be treated, how you want to be viewed, valued, all that type of stuff. Set your boundaries from the beginning and stick with it. All right? Set your boundaries from the beginning. Like I said, when someone asks you to do something that you never want to do, say no indefinitely. No with a period. Don't follow it up with anything. Just no. And if they happen to ask you why, kindly explain why. All right? You can kindly explain why if they ask why. It's called communication, man. It is not our job to, monitor how someone else processes their emotion or processes what you say. All you should be doing is just communicating how you feel effectively. That's it. And we make it harder than what it really is. It's very simple, communication, but we make it hard because people are so combative when it comes to anything in opposition to, what they want to hear or what they want to feel or whatever. So yeah, we got to get that. We got to get that in check and get that in order. For all you guys who have a problem with saying no, I want you to pause. Because, when the person's asking you or saying whatever they're saying, that pause might help you. Asking you or saying whatever they're saying that you don't want to do or you don't want to be a part of, pause for a second, breathe in your head, and just say no. Just say no. And that's it. And whatever happens after that, what comes after that, it is what it is. Pause for a minute. Because some people are quick to say yes. They're just so conditioned to say it. They say it quick. That's why I'm telling you to pause so you don't find yourself in these situations. Just pause. When they ask you, hey, can you do such and such? Pause. No, I'm afraid I can't do that. Don't follow up with anything. Let them come to whatever conclusion they want to come to and why you can't do it. That's up to them. If they ask, proceed to tell them why. But don't lie. Do not lie because you're going to find yourself in a position of being asked over and over again, and then they're going to start asking you other stuff. Don't lie about it. Just be straight up, and that's all. This is the simplest lesson. It really is, man. Which uncomfortable do you want? The uncomfortable actually doing something you don't want, or the uncomfortable with saying no and not knowing how that person is processing when that's not your job anyway? Let them go handle that. Let them figure that out later, and then you'll find out who's real. And that's it, man. I try to keep that as simple as possible because that's how I view it. I don't know. Maybe someone else could dive in even deeper, maybe coming from someone who has that problem. And maybe, I'll find someone. That'll be interesting to find someone who actually has a problem with saying no. Maybe do a quick 5 for 5 or something like that. That's interesting. I think that may be something I start doing. Look at me thinking to myself on the mic. I'm sorry. I really went off on a tangent just then because they may be interesting. But for me, it's very simple, man. Choose my uncomfortable. All right, but I'm not uncomfortable with saying no, It actually feels good to me. I just go on and go on with the rest of my day, and I feel good. All right, but that's going to wrap this up, man. I don't like to keep you guys long. Oh, the last 2 weeks I've been getting close to 30 minutes, and I was getting below that. I'm starting to talk too much again. But it was great being on here with you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in, as usual, man. You already know. At Stroked STROK'D _ the podcast, or maybe someone who skipped over the front at the beginning of the episode, which I hope you guys don't do that. At Stroked STROK'D _ the podcast, that's the social media. Follow us on that. And also, if you want to be on here, man, because I have remote capabilities on my mixer right here. So you could be across the world in another country, and I can put you in via your cell phone. I can put you in, and we can get on this mic. So who think they want to get in here and ride this wave with this mental simulation? I'm ready. All right, so it should be, if you click on that link I just gave you, if you go to that social media, at the link in the bio, you will see a spot where you can click on that to inquire about being on here, give ideas, or whatever, man. Come on, I'm waiting on you. Don't be scared now. You better not tell me no either. All right, you guys know what just happened to you. You just got stroked up. Bye.